Good morning, dear children. Welcome to 8th Standard Social Science class. I hope you all are fine. Today we'll start with History, Unit 6, Development of Industries in India, Part 2. In previous class, I explained about the traditional crafts of India and the causes for the decline of Indian industries. In today's class, let us see the continuation part of this lesson. The learning objectives of this lesson are: understand the beginning of modern industries, know the aim of 5-year plans, understand the pace of industrial development in India. Let's see the beginning of modern industries. The beginning of modern industry is associated with the development in mainly plantations like jute, cotton, and steel. There was a limited development of mining, especially coal. The accelerated, that is, the speed up of the industrialization, began with the development of railways and roadways. This growth greatly influenced the economic and social life of people in the country. The two world wars gave an impetus, that is, gave a motivation to the development of number of industries such as chemical, iron and steel, sugar, cement, glass, and other consumer goods. Most mills were set up by the wealth of Indian businessmen. Plantation industry. Plantation is large scale estate. The plantation industry was the first to attract the Europeans. The plantation industry could provide jobs on a large scale, and in reality it could meet the increasing demands for tea, coffee, and indigo by the British society. Indigo is the dark blue in color. The Assam Tea Company was founded in 1839. Coffee plantation also started simultaneously. As the tea plantation was the most important industries of eastern India, coffee plantation became the centers of activities in South India. The third important plantation which gave birth to factory was jute. Next is mission based industries. In India, modern industrial sector in an organized form started with the establishment of cotton textile industry in Bombay in 1854. In 1855, jute industry was started in the Hooghly near Calcutta. The first paper mill was started in Calcutta in 1870. The cotton mill were dominated by Indian enterprises and the jute mill were owned by the British capitalists. The woolen and the leather factories became prominent in Kanpur. Heavy industries. The heavy industry included the iron and steel industry. Steel was first manufactured by modern methods at Kulti in 1874. Iron and steel industry began rooted in the Indian soil in the beginning of the 20th century. The Tata Iron and Steel Company (TISCO) was set up in the 1907 at Jamshedpur. It started producing big iron in 1911. Growth of modern industries. The length of railways increased from 2,573 km in 1861 to 55,773 km in 1914. Opening of Suez Canal also shortened the distance between Europe and India about 4,830 km. This reduced distance facilitated further industrialization of India. As a result of Swadeshi movement, the cotton mills increased from 194 to 273 and jute mills from 36 to 64. Labors were extremely cheap. Raw materials were cheaply available. India and its neighbors provided a ready market. Next comes the Confederation of India Industry (CII). The Confederation of India Industry is a business association in India. CII is a non-government, not-for-profit, industry-led and industry-managed organization. It was founded in 1985. It has over 9,000 members from the private as well as public sectors, including small and medium enterprises and multinational cooperation. Next, we'll move on to the industrial growth in India. To realize the dream of development of industries, Indian government adopted certain industrial policies and 5-year plans. One of the most important innovation in the industrial field after independence has been the introduction of the 5-year plan and the direct participation in industries by the government as expressed in the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948. As per the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, industries were classified into three categories. Schedule A. Only the government can handle these industries. Some of these are atomic energy, electrical, iron and steel, and others. Schedule B. These comprise roads and sea transportation, machine tools, aluminium, chemical including plastic and fertilizer. Schedule C. Under this category, the remaining industries and left to the private sector. Phases of industrial development in India. Industrial development during 1950s to 1965. During this phase, a majority of consumer goods were produced in India. The industrial sector was underdeveloped with weak infrastructure. Technical skills were in short supply. The first 3 5-year plans were very important because their aim was to build a strong industrial base in independent India. As a result, this phase witnessed a strong acceleration in the growth rate of production. Next, industrial development during 1965 to 1980. As the first 3 5-year plans mostly focused on the development of the capital goods sector, the consumer goods sector was neglected. The consumer goods sector is the backbone of the rural economy. As a result, there was a fall in the growth rate of industrial production. So this period is marked as the period of structural retrogression. Industrial development during 1980s till 1991. The period of the 1980s can be considered as the period of the industrial recovery. This period witnessed quite a healthy industrial growth. Industrial development post 1991 reforms. The year 1991 assured, that is, guided a new era of the economic liberalization. Liberalization is loosening of government control. India took majority decision to improve the performance of the industrial sector. The 10th and 11th 5-year plan witnessed a high growth rate of industrial production. The abolition of industrial licensing, dismantling of price control, dilution of reservation of small-scale industries and virtual abolitions of monopoly law enabled Indian industry to flourish. Here is a map which shows the places of industries in India. Next, we'll move on to the modernization. India has now a large variety of industries producing goods of varied nature, which shows a high degree of modernization. Some modern industries have really grown and they are competing effectively with the outside world. This has reduced our dependence greatly on foreign experts and technologists. On the contrary, India is exporting trained personnel to relatively less developed countries. The term information technology includes computer and communication technology along with software. Along with the three-sector model of primary, secondary and tertiary industry, a fourth sector, information-related industry has emerged. Emerged is started. Next, we'll move on to the self-reliance. It is another positive aspect of industrial growth is the attainment of the goal of self-reliance. Self-reliance means self-sufficient. We have achieved self-reliance in machinery, plant and other equipments. Today, the bulk of the equipment required for industrial and infrastructural development is produced within the country. The Indian road network has become one of the largest in the world. Government efforts led to the expansion of the network of national highways, state highways, and majority district roads, which in turn has directly contributed to the industrial growth. After almost 7 decades of independence, India has emerged that is started as the third largest producer of electricity in Asia. Children, I conclude the lesson by telling industrialization is an important component of economic growth. India's industrial expansion over the planned period present a mixture picture. Compared to the pre-independence level, industrial growth during the fifth five-year plan period is phenomenal. Thank you, children. Let's learn the adverbs and its meanings. Accelerated, speed up, impetus, motivation, plantation, large scale estate, indigo, dark blue in color, delineated, describe, neglected, rejected, retrogression, to return to older, emerge, started. Children, that's all for today's class. Thank you and have a great day.